Remember when the Bears were the Bears without asking anyone's permission? I want that same energy now, because there's a clean move on the board that could sharpen our offense without changing who we are. Today, I'm laying out the full picture in a straight line. What our passing game is missing in the middle of the field. How a specific tight end fits our spacing next to Cole Kmet. What the price likely looks like before the deadline on Tuesday, November 4 at 4 p.m. ET, where the risk sits. What the cap impact is. And how it helps Caleb Williams read, rip, and play fast. No drama, no fluff, just football details. Stay with me until the end. Because the name matters. But the logic matters more, and I'll give you my final call and ask for yours before we close. Here's the core issue. We're a better offense when we own the seams and force linebackers and safeties to honor our tight end in space. Kmet is a reliable chain mover and red zone option, but on early downs and in play action, we still need that extra gear. The guy who can get vertical out of motion, pressure the hook curl defenders, and punish zone when they sit. That's where the target I'm looking at fits perfectly. He's on a rookie deal that runs through 2025 with free agency in 2026. He has alignment flexibility as a true move tight end. And he's produced solid volume the last 2 years before this season. Through 7 games this year, he's logged low 20s receptions and a couple hundred yards for Tennessee, and he's doing it while the Titans balance development for their rookie quarterback. Translation: he can play right now, he understands spacing, and he won't wreck your cap. The profile is Chig Okonkwo, Tennessee Titans tight end, and the skill set checks the Bears' boxes. He wins with acceleration off the line, he tracks the ball on the move, and he's comfortable running through zone windows. He can shift from inline to wing to slot without tipping your play, and he's a legit after-catch threat when you hit him in stride. That matters for Caleb because it creates simple throws that turn into real yards. Think play-action glance with a tight end bend behind it. Think split-flow boot, where the backside defender has to choose between the quarterback run and the tight end leak. Think 3rd and 4, where you isolate a linebacker and trust your guy to snap off a route and finish forward. You don't overhaul the playbook for this. You just unlock calls you already like. Fit next to Kmet is clean. Kmet can stay in his comfort zone as the base TE who can block the edge, sit down versus zone, and win in the red area. Okonkwo becomes the motion piece, the jet look, the fast 4-step seam, the crosser on early downs that puts a nickel in conflict. You can get into 12 personnel and still look like 11 because he threatens the slot. That helps your run game too, because defenses can't crash as hard when your tight end actually scares them up the seam. It also helps protection because you can chip out of motion, change launch points, and slow edge rush with window dressing instead of brute force. On price, this is where it gets realistic. Around the league, he's been discussed as a possible move because of the contract timeline and Tennessee's roster retool. But the Titans won't just hand out weapons while they bring along a young quarterback. That means the cost won't be cheap, but it won't be outrageous either. You're likely in the day 3 range with conditions tied to snaps or playoff advancement. That's the kind of bet you make when the player aligns with your identity and the cap is friendly. From our side, the cap piece is simple. Rookie scale number in 2025, then a decision. You get the rest of this season to see the chemistry with Caleb, confirm the fit with Kmet, and check how he handles volume in December. If it's a hit, great. You've added a tight end who extends drives and stresses coverage. If it's fine but not special, you still raised your floor in the most important stretch of the year without boxing in future flexibility. Risk is straightforward. He's a move tight end, not a mauler. You don't ask him to anchor one-on-one against power ends as a steady diet. You use angles, motion, timing, and technique to help. In the pass game, the question is consistency. Hands, contested catches, and detail at the top of routes when safeties lean on him. Those are coaching points you drill the second he lands in the building. And because he's been productive the last 2 seasons, you're not guessing at whether he belongs in NFL volume. He does. The key is role clarity and timing. Let's talk usage. I'd expect an immediate package, leak, slide, and delay concepts off boot. A couple of seam shots off condensed sets. Some quick outs versus off coverage to set up YAC. On 3rd down, he's the motion man to ID coverage. If the nickel travels, you know it's man and you get into your pick rub world. If the defense bumps and zones, you bend him through the window behind the hook. In the red zone, you can pair him with Kmet in tight splits and force bad matchups. safety on Komet, linebacker on Chig, and you play matchups by alignment. This also cleans up our receiver rotation because the tight end production in the middle keeps safeties honest, and your outside guys see more single coverage. From Caleb's perspective, this is a player who speeds up his answers. Young quarterbacks are at their best when the middle is defined. A tight end who gets vertical and threatens leverage simplifies reads. You move the chains, you stay on schedule, and you protect your defense by owning time of possession when games get heavy. That's not hype. That's how winning teams play in November and December. The opponent angle matters too. In the North, you're seeing aggressive secondaries and fronts that want to squeeze your edges. A tight end who can catch on the move and turn upfield forces them to widen. It's a small tactical shift with big results over 4 quarters. On availability, League Chatter has framed him as a reasonable candidate to be moved but not a lock. He's valuable in Tennessee and they know it. There is a line where it doesn't make sense for them. That's why our front office needs discipline. If the ask hikes into day 2, I pass. If there's a medical concern, I pass. If the room thinks the internal TE2 is quietly breaking out, I get it. But in the pocket where you're dealing with a reasonable late pick and a clear role, this is the exact type of move good teams execute. You pay for someone who can help now, you keep the cap flexible, and you evaluate for the future with your quarterback. Leadership and locker room are always part of the conversation. By all accounts, this is a pro who shows up, works, and fits. That matters here. The Bears are building a standard where details are non-negotiable. If you add a skill player at the deadline, he needs to bring reliability, not noise. Scheme fit, personality fit, and timeline all line up. Before I tell you my verdict, here's what you're getting today and why it matters. A tight end who has put up more than 50 receptions in each of the last 2 seasons before this one, who has already stacked catches and yards this year while playing in a shifting Titans offense, who can line up all over and create matchups, and who sits on a contract that keeps options open for 2026. That's a rare combo. Now the call. I'm in. I would make the move for Chig Okonkwo at a sensible day 3 price with snap-based conditions. I'd plug him into a defined role as the move TE next to Komet, give Caleb a fast middle field answer, and let the offense breathe. It helps now, it teaches us more about the 2026 plan, and it keeps the door open to bigger decisions in the offseason. Before we wrap, I want to hear you. What's your price? What's the role you'd give him on day 1? And do you think this is the kind of addition that changes third down in December? Drop your take below, be specific, and tell me how you'd use him in 12 personnel with Komet. Final read from me. Chig to Chicago makes sense if the tag is fair and the medicals are clean, because it directly attacks a need without messing with the identity we're building. If you're with me, hit subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, turn on the alerts, and stay close. When the phones start buzzing, I'll be here first with fast updates and real breakdowns you can trust.